and welcome. I'm Emma.
I'm Tracey.
And we are
Curly Seams.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a while. Yes, it has.
We are still here.
We are still here. It seems like, actually I have no idea how long it's been. It's kind of like a blur. It's a big blur.
Yeah, it is all a blur. And I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning and I think, what day of the week is it?
Right, I have actually forgotten what day of the week it is more times than I care to remember, so I've kind of given up on that as well.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of nice. I know today's Monday and I'm kind of thinking it's May the 4th.
Yes.
It's May the 4th today. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you as well, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to you from Wiltshire.
Yes, and I'm in Hampshire.
And as Tracey just said, it is the 4th of May, and I think this is episode 19.
Yes, I think you're right. It is episode 19. Yes.
I think, yeah. Anyway, so have you been busy crafting? Have you been busy sewing away?
I haven't done a great deal for myself. I've been busy doing the NHS bits and bobs.
Yeah.
So bags for the London ambulance service, the scrub bags for them to put their uniforms in and wash their uniforms in the bags. Interesting, lots of people weren't sure what these scrub bags were, or are even. So if you don't know what a scrub bag is, it's a huge, great big bag that people can put their laundry in. And so they take their uniform off at work, put their uniform in the scrub bag, tie it up, drawstring bag, then the whole lot goes in the wash when they get home, and it means they don't have to touch their uniform again until it's being washed. So bag and uniform get washed together, which I think is a great idea, really. So yeah, I should really think about asking my sons to consider doing something like that as well.
What with their washing? Hey, that's quite a good idea, actually. Yeah, and then just throw the whole bag into the wash.
Particularly underwear, things like that. You can stuff it all in, couldn't you? So I made a heap of those, and I've been busy doing I did hospital gowns for the local hospital, which was organised through the sewing shop local to me, and I believe she's actually delivered something like 1,200 gowns now to the local hospital.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. So most people took on making 16 gowns, which was a full roll of the fabric. The fabric was a bit different. It was like a well, it's not PVC. I think it's more like a ripstop nylon. Ripstop.
Oh yes, ripstop. Yeah.
Ripstop nylon. Wasn't overly difficult to sew, but a little bit slippier, obviously, than dealing with cotton, which we're used to. A fairly basic pattern, but you've got to cut it all out. So 16 gowns to be cut out, and each gown has 4 ties on it, and elasticated cuffs. And the ties were a bit of a pain. I'll be honest, the ties were a pain. Yeah. And I think, like all people who sew as a craft, they want to try and do the best they can, and we weren't really thinking about how many times are these items going to be used. It was only after I had done the first set that I realised that these were potentially only one-time use garments.
Oh, okay.
Which was annoying is the wrong word, because we enjoyed doing them. We enjoyed making them. I did enjoy making them. But when I realised it was only a one-time garment, I kind of thought, why did I go to all the trouble of doing overlock seams and all this kind of business? There was absolutely no point in doing any of that, because we should have just done the bare minimum necessary to keep the things together.
Yeah, and get them
so
out.
They could be used. But there was some slight confusion, because people were saying, it's a one-time garment. Then other people saying, no, they should be able to wash and reuse them. Then other people were saying probably only as many as 3 times. So I've no idea, to be honest, but nonetheless, 16 garments were made and went, and I didn't take on any more of those, because I was a little bit, they are difficult things to do, I found, in the end. It takes a long time. Yeah. And quite it's an emotional make, believe it or not, as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I was talking to a couple of people who've made them, and they all said the same thing. Once you've finished because you're trying to get them out as quickly as possible as well. I think that's the other thing. So they came on the Friday night, and I just walked straight away through and got them all out for Sunday afternoon. So it's, you're working quite hard anyway to get them out.
Yeah.
And then when you've done it, you're tired from doing it anyway. Then you think about what they're being used for. And then someone says it's a one-time garment, and then you get a bit, oh, well, why have I bothered doing all of this work? Then you think, well, forget about that. It's the fact that the nurses and the doctors are using them, and you're potentially going to save somebody's life.
Yeah.
And then you kind of think, oh, okay, then it all kind of comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting make, to say the least. So yes, I did those, and then I've been busy doing the NHS scrubs, which I've actually enjoyed making those. So, but I'm having a rest. I've done an awful lot. I want to spend a bit of time just to do something for friends and family and me now.
So you've got a lovely quilt behind you on the wall. Is that an old?
That is a very old quilt on it. It's not finished. It was one I pulled out about 4 weeks ago when I was going to finish it. So it's got one more border to go on.
Yeah.
So it's a Jacob's ladder. It's 2 blocks, a Jacob's ladder, and I forget the name of the other block that goes with it. Jacob's ladder, or are they all? Oh, it's Jacob's ladder in the middle, and then it's Ohio Star on the outside.
Yeah, on the outside border.
Yeah, and then there's one more border to go on the outside of that. But I think that must be my oldest work, and I think I started it in 2000 and either 4 or 5.
Right, okay. So that's quite an old one then. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an old one. Yeah. It's flannel. It's actually made from flannel
Who
fabric.
is it? Right, you can't see that. Obviously, you can't see that from here, but yeah, it's very nice. Nice scrappy one.
I started making it before I really understood the meaning of value in quilts.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've not quite got the fabrics in the right place, and I did consider taking it apart and redoing bits. I thought, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to get it made and quilted and got it gone, and whether we keep it. Actually, one of the kids found it, saw it and liked it, and thought, yeah, they can have it. So
yeah.
So, but yeah, for those of you that don't know what value is, it's take away the colour, and it's how light or dark is a fabric in comparison to another fabric. So the Jacob's ladder, the crisscross design, is coming because I've got dark fabrics. So yeah, let's see if I can point them out. So I'll take the chair out of the way. Am I going to be in the way of it?
No, no, you're fine. No, it looks good.
So where are we? Wrong way. So here, look, we've kind of lost the dark because it's gone into a slightly medium toned fabric.
Yeah, but I think you can still get away with it. I think
you can still see it because it's relative. So this is still dark relative to this bit.
Yeah.
But it's not as dark as this bit up here. So and then on the outside, on the Ohio Star bit, I lost some value there as well. Overall, it's not bad, but
it's a nice
it could have been much better. It could have been much better to make the design stand out. But okay, there we go. It's what it is.
It's nearly finished.
Some good things, we do some bad things, and
absolutely.
So, there you are. Yeah. And like I say, you've got a star quilt.
Yeah, it's actually like a chevron.
Chevron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the jelly roll class, and I laid it on the frame and then sat and looked at it for 3 days trying to figure out how am I going to quilt it, because I really wasn't very motivated to do it at all, actually. But in the end, I just went for big flowers.
Fabulous, lovely.
So that's
good, excellent. Excellent. I've done no quilting. Absolutely zero quilting.
I can't remember if I showed that. I think that was on the frame last time.
It was, yes. Yes, it's just washing out a little bit. That's it. Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
That one's finished. That one's got the binding on, and I've just got to sit and sew that down at some point.
Is that one for you?
I don't know. The trouble is you can't keep all of them, can you? I mean, we've got so many already. So no, this one might. I think I might do this one actually. And yeah.
So that one's like an echoed flower design you did in the quilting there, didn't you? And the other one is it's like a single flower.
Yeah,
right?
More like a single flower. Yes. Yeah, I'll try and get some little photos to put.
Yeah, lovely, very nice, very nice.
So yes, so those are my. I've got 2 quilts, and then I've just pulled out another one that is quite an old one. This one is like a
very nice
kaleidoscope.
Yeah, kaleidoscope. Yes.
But but again, it's an old project, and I'm struggling with fabrics. I've got lots of these cut out. You can't see this, but these are all on my desk in front of me. I have unfortunately only got 2 pieces of the cream.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is I've found something that I think I can get away with for a little border to go round it.
You're just trying to extend it?
Yes, and just to use up some bits really. So I think once that's quilted up, I think I can get away with that.
Yeah.
And then I just thought I'd do a rotating
very nice
border all the way around
the outside, finish up your bits.
Yeah. I've been doing quite a lot with because I teach various classes and everything, just trying to keep people in touch really, and try and give them something to do and keep them motivated a little bit, just for a little.
This is during lockdown, right?
This is during lockdown, yes. So we've had some nice Zoom meetings and get-togethers, which has been lovely. And I think for some of them that are on their own quite a lot, I think they've quite appreciated having a little bit of contact. So we did a mystery block, just using scraps.
Yes.
That's
nice.
So that's just the one block. It makes up into a 24-inch block. And then what I did was because I had lots, I went on and made.
Oh, I love it. 4
blocks to put together.
That is really nice, Emma. I really like that.
So I've made quite a big dent in all of my yellow and green and orange scraps, which has been quite nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've made up of 2 blocks. So that's one.
Yeah.
And then the other one is that little one.
That's just like a mini courthouse step.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's my
yeah. I don't know what the other one is. It looks really nice though.
Well, I think it gives a
nice star design in the centre.
Yes, and I think that gives a nice opportunity. I said to me, you could
I like that a lot.
In it.
Really like it.
It's a good opportunity to do some quilting, isn't it? From there.
Yeah.
So we did that one, and then last week we got together and we did a Zoom meeting like this, and Zoom were very, very kind to us because they extended us so that we had unlimited time. So we just all sat and sewed together for the morning, and we all made a nice little table runner.
Yeah, from the left. Oh no, they're not left. It's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, this is different. This was actually from a farm pack that I cut up. And we all just sat and sewed and had coffee and cake, and some people nipped out and had lunch and then came back.
Yeah. It's funny actually because we're doing the same tomorrow. Actually, we've done 2 Zooms, and then tomorrow the first 2 was kind of like, let's see who we can get on board. We didn't have too many. Last week we had a fair few on board, and then tomorrow. But we're still talking about how it affected everybody, how the lockdowns affected everybody. So tomorrow we're going to do the same as yourself. So bring something to work on and have a coffee and a chat and work at the same time. So good.
So have you been knitting at all, or?
Yes, I finished some socks. So I do have a pair of socks that I finished.
Oh, those are very bright.
Yeah, and I love them. They've not been off my feet.
Very nice. And have you got your technique down?
No, I'm still playing around with it. So these were on a bigger size needle. These were on a 2.5mm needle.
Yeah.
I extended the heel flap.
Right.
Because you read a lot of patterns, they say to do so many. If the heel flap, I'm trying to think how many stitches. The heel flap is normally half the number of stitches to total round. So if you've got 64 stitches, then the heel flap is over 32 stitches at the back.
Right.
And they tell you to do 32 rows, which is the same number. You do the same number of rows as you've got stitches, basically. So if you're doing a 72 stitch sock, then you've got 36 stitches.
Okay.
However, I was watching somebody else who was suggesting that no, you should measure from your ankle bone to the floor, and that measurement is the measurement that your heel flap should be.
Okay.
So nobody's standard, everyone's got a different size foot. So so that point on the gusset there is your ankle bone. That should coincide with your ankle bone.
Right.
And down to here, that is the distance from your ankle bone to the floor. And that's how many rows you should be knitting, including your heel flap, your turn, to make sure that you've got the right length to suit your foot.
Okay.
So on these ones, I increased the heel flap, so it's a longer heel flap than what I've done before.
Yeah.
And they do fit better.
I was going to say that's better, is it then?
They do fit better.
Good.
And then between the two of them, I did actually change, so that the actual heel turn bit, I actually changed the number of stitches I had. Either it's like a curve section. I don't think you've done a sock, have you? No. Okay, so well, without confusing it, I just made one a little bit wider than the other to see which one I liked the better.
Okay.
And I liked the wider one because I've got chunky feet, so it suits my foot better. So they have slightly wider. But you've got to play around until you've got the a pattern that suits your foot, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I really like the fact that that doesn't dig in my ankle. You know, that's lovely. It doesn't dig in my ankle like commercial socks. The length's nice. I like the length of it. I don't like the bit where I joined the heel flap to start the gusset. I tried somebody else's method. I don't like that. You get like this series of like little rope. Can you say like little lines?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
I don't like that. So.
Okay. Well, I guess it's the good thing about it is now that you've tried a few, you get to know which techniques you want to put in, and then you can adapt it to suit what suits you, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I am still going with my my flax jumper.
Oh yes, yeah.
Turn it. So I did. This is the neck actually, because you start from the neck down.
Yeah. And the flax is the tin can knits.
Tin can knits, yes. Now I did the neck. I did the rib for the neck, and that was fine. You then have to increase, and then you start knitting out, obviously.
Yes.
And I did maybe an inch, and then realised that what I was doing was actually wrong, and I'd missed some bits, and I hadn't made sure that I had the right number of stitches, etc., etc. So I was very proud of myself because I took it right back to the end of the rib, and I redid it. That's actually, I don't know if you can see, but that's the sleeve part there.
The shoulder, that'd be the shoulder part of the sleeve,
like a garter stitch panel, I think it is.
Over the shoulder here.
So I took it all back and redid it, and it's now going much better, and I'm much happier with how it's going. And you can't really see it, but it is starting to.
Yeah, you got your raglan increases.
Yes, yeah. So so yes, I'm quite enjoying it, and of course because it's sort of like an Aran weight, it's growing quite quick, which is
absolutely, it's very good.
So I am quite enjoying it.
It's very nice, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, talk a bit. One of the things I have done with myself, because I did all of these scrubs, and I'm going to talk about the scrubs in a minute. So I decided to make myself a pair of pyjamas.
Oh, right,
I've made enough scrub bottoms. I can certainly make more pyjamas for me now, which I'm quite happy making pyjamas. I've made loads of pyjamas in the past. Never a top. I've only ever made pyjama bottoms.
Yes.
Alice & Co patterns put out the Whitechapel pyjama pattern recently. So I thought, I really like that. So I made some pink polka dot pyjamas.
Wow. Those are a little bit bright.
So look at those.
Woohoo! Won't lose you in those, would you?
Definitely not. Definitely not. So I'm really pleased with them actually. They've come out very nice. I had to make some little adjustments to them. Not too much, but a few adjustments. My sewing machine has decided to throw a wobbly when it comes to doing buttonholes, which is annoying. So it's got buttons out. So I've had to do those all manually.
Oh no!
Yeah. So did I remember how to do a manual buttonhole? It took me a little while.
I bet. God, yeah.
They will not do an automatic buttonhole at all. So so I have to coax it along to do a zigzag either side and then do the top of the bottom.
Well, they look good though. They look all right.
Not bad. They'll suffice.
I must admit, actually, when I was doing some headbands, the NHS headbands, I put my buttons on by machine. Have you done that?
I have, yes.
Yes. Well, that was a new thing for me, and I was like,
Right.
oh my God, this is a game changer. This is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, with the buttons, the nice thing, I do with my buttons by machine as well.
Yeah.
Do you use a piece of double-sided tape to keep your buttons in place?
I didn't, but I didn't really need to, actually.
Oh, right, because one of the nice things you can do is if you mark your buttonhole positions, you can get all of your buttonholes in place with the back by sticking them in place with double-sided sticky tape.
Yeah.
Then you literally go put it under the machine with your buttonholer, forward, blah 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 blah. One, move on to the next, move on to the next, move on to the next, and then snip, and they're all done. So it takes very little time to do all your buttons really quickly. So
great.
So yeah, so I do that. So that's quite nice. So, but these buttons are very slightly bigger. The buttonhole is too small for it's about 1/8 of an inch too small, I would say.
Let me
to
force it through.
No, I actually have a question. I couldn't decide. So the buttons at the moment are going down. Should they go down or should they go across?
I would say down, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the convention is for buttonholes. Whether is there a convention or?
I don't know. I will have to investigate my husband's shirts afterwards. I must admit, I don't wear a lot of button down.
Well, actually,
you've got
this
one on.
This is narrow. This is a narrow placket, so these are going down. Obviously, because there's space to go that way. This way, I suppose I could always check the pattern.
Why? Who does that? No, I think down, because otherwise they're going to be even more noticeable, aren't they? Because they're going to.
Well, my thought process was if they go across, then it can pull open.
Yes.
And I thought if they're going down, at least you're trying to keep them in centralised down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's neater going in a straight line. Anyway, we'll have a look and see.
Yeah, I don't. So patterns. Okay, I have a gripe. I have lots of gripes. But please, pattern designers, when you make a pattern for someone to use, a commercial pattern that somebody is using, in your instructions, please tell people whether the shoulders need to be eased or not. Do you know what I mean by this?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Pattern did not say.
No, they
so
just.
What happens when you don't? This is another same top. It's the same Alice & Co top, but where the shoulders come together. I just did it to see what would happen. When you put your shoulders together, this is the shoulder at the sleeve point. Yeah. You know those two need to match.
Yes.
It should match at the neck, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Oh.
Do you know why it doesn't match? It's because they didn't tell you to ease that back shoulder into the front shoulder.
Right.
Okay. That is a full seam. That's a full 1 centimetre difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so with a bog standard pattern where you've got the front and the back bodice pieces coming together and you've got the shoulder slope, at the back there is in a bodice block at the back, there is always a dart at the back, and that's to take account of the roundness of your back.
Yeah.
And depending on how round a back you have, you may need to put a bigger dart or not. But people don't like doing darts, and quite often, because it's usually not more than 1/2 inch anyway in width, the dart, designers tend to drop them off altogether.
Yeah.
And either they redesign it in such a way that the dart is taken out of the back shoulder, or they tell you to ease that back shoulder into the front shoulder.
Yeah.
Which means you literally just need to, either you can do a running stitch or you can just slightly pull on your front and it will match.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you put the bigger bit, which is the back, to your feed dogs, the feed dogs will ease in that extra fabric, so the two pieces of fabric match, so the shoulder is the correct length.
Yeah.
Was there any instructions for that? No, there wasn't any instructions for that. it makes me very cross, because whilst I knew it was supposed to be there and I just wanted to test it out, I thought, okay, so I know it's not matched. I can go away, and this was just a tester I did just to see. It annoys me.
Yeah.
My little guy.
If you were a beginner and you didn't know that,
exactly, that's
you
my
put it in, and then you'd suddenly think, oh my God, it doesn't match out. What have I done wrong?
Yeah. No, you know, so a lot of people would have that, and then they'll think, okay, is that right? Is it not right? I've now got to put my collar on, so it makes the collar a little bit more difficult, because you've got that excess on.
Yeah.
So please just add that. Does it take much to put it on the pattern itself? Ease. 4 letters. Ease.
Yes.
No, don't do they? No, as well. Because
when
we're talking about sleeves, I used I don't think you used the same pattern I used. I used the pattern that was produced by, I think he's an Argentinian designer. I could have that wrong, but anyway, it's boutiquepatterns.com, I think is the scrubs pattern I was using.
Right. Yeah, because I used the free one from So Different.
So Different. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot knocking around. Okay, and the first set of scrubs I made from quilting cotton, and quilting cotton's quite a loose weave, generally speaking. Okay, and if you compare it to a cotton poplin, that's a much tighter weave.
Yeah.
Cotton lawn, which is a much tighter weave. So the fact that the quilting cotton was relatively loose in its weave meant that I could get the sleeve into the bodice of the garment relatively easily.
Right.
Okay, so the first 5, which were made out of quilting cottons, the sleeve went in quite nicely, although I did think that the sleeve was a bit tight. Okay, so I thought, okay, all right then. So the next set I made was using a poly cotton, which is it was an 80 polyester, 20% cotton, which is what was recommended. That's what the recommended fabrics. So I went with that, but it's a much tighter weave. I'd actually cut my sleeve before I thought about this, which meant when I came to put the sleeve into the bodice of the garment, now I think So Different have got grown on sleeves, haven't they? There is no sleeve to put in. It's actually grown on.
Oh, there is a sleeve. No, you insert the sleeve.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm with you. Yeah. So tell you who I'm thinking of. There's another one that's got grown on sleeves now. Who's can't remember the name of the pattern designer, but Sew Me Something has grown on sleeves on hers, which is negating the issue altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the one I was using, so the cotton poplin much tighter. When I came to put the sleeve in, I thought, why am I not able to get this sleeve in? It ended up that I'd got gathers on the bodice and not the sleeve.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, this is nuts. What is going off here? This is all wrong. Okay, so anyway, I went away on the internet and had a look at a few other people and to see if I could find any information about what people were saying. And I did discover a few people said the sleeves were not going in too well. Okay, right. So do you know why the sleeve was not going in too well?
Why?
Because the sleeve itself was measuring 1.5 inches smaller than the bodice arm sky.
Ooh.
So I thought, no, that can't be right. I've obviously done something wrong. I've miscut it. I've miscut the pattern. I've made the pattern, you know, when I printed the pattern, I've done something wrong. So I went all the way, I checked everything again. And no, it was 1.5 inches difference. Now, and that's if I had 0 ease. So normally on a sleeve, the sleeve will have somewhere in the region of 1/2 inch extra fabric plus over the actual length of the arm sky. And I don't know why you need that extra 1/2 inch. I'm assuming it's to go over the tip of your shoulder,
right?
Or your arm, I think. I don't know why. I mean, because if you've got a circle and you're trying to fit something into the circle, it should be the same size to my mind. I don't know why there's extra put in there, but anyway, they do. Sometimes it's a design thing where you want the gathers to come out, don't you? Want those gathered look, but for something like scrubs, I can't see that's not necessary. You just want the sleeve to fit the armhole.
Yeah.
The armhole, arm sky, whichever you want to call it. Yeah. But it was 1.5 inches. It was 1.5 inches different. So I ended up having to stick in the extra 3/4 of an inch front and back. Yeah. All
right. And having done that, did that work then?
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits. But honestly, why do I have to do that?
Well, was it a free one or was it?
It was a free pattern that was donated by the pattern designer. However, they are charging for it on their website, and they're charging £14, I think, when I looked.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. The fact is, the pattern didn't fit the arm.
Yeah.
Hole. Now, again, if you're a novice sewer, you're just going to either think, well, that's the way it is, or I've done something wrong, or my stitching's rubbish, or
yeah.
But anyway, so there we go. So pattern designers, please check your patterns. Have you heard of the term crimping?
Yes.
Okay, so do you crimp your sleeves when they go in?
I don't think I've ever done it.
Okay, right. So where I've got the, can you see it says crimp?
Yeah,
it's
it
my
says crimp.
writing.
Yeah.
So okay. Again, it's not on the pattern. It doesn't even say ease on the pattern. Does it say ease anywhere on that pattern? No, it doesn't, does it? No, it doesn't. So if you crimp a sleeve, you end up that you take out that ½ inch very, very easily, and it looks like a little crimped edge. Can you see that? Probably can't see it too much.
Can't really see it, no.
Yeah, you get like a little, it looks like crimping. If you crimped paper, it looks like you've crimped your fabric, and it takes in that extra ½ inch or so, as opposed to if you do the traditional way, which we're told to do, where do 2 lines of stitching and then draw it in.
Yeah.
If you, which works, obviously that works, but if you do that, it means it's then up to you to distribute your gathers. So you may have one spot with more gathers than another.
Yeah.
Whereas with crimping, you get an even gather all the way over the sleeve cap.
So that's not what I'm thinking. I was thinking of the 2 rows. So what's when you crimp?
That's gathering. That's gathering.
That's gathering. So
this is crimping. So crimping, in both cases, crimping and gathering, set your stitch length to the longest, or at least a 4+, for a 4 millimeter plus stitch length. With gathering, you just stitch. You do nothing. You put it under your presser foot and you let the feed dogs do the work.
Right.
Okay. So with crimping, you put your finger behind the foot. So your finger is on top of the fabric and the fabric is touching the feed dogs. And then you stop the fabric from moving as you sew. So it all bunches up behind the foot and your finger. And as it does that, you are altering the tension of your your stitches marginally, so it actually forms the crimp.
All right. No, I've never done that. Then
give it a try on the next one you put in, because it makes a huge difference in how well or not a sleeve goes in. Now that doesn't look like it's taken a great deal out, because you can hardly see any gathering in its traditional form at all.
Yeah.
But the fact you've got this tiny crimp going on means that for every stitch you're taking a tiny bit of fabric.
Okay. Well, I'm wearing my fielder, as I said.
Yes, it's lovely as well.
So I did longer sleeves because I prefer a slightly longer sleeve, but you can still pull them up. The pattern also called for a waistband, but I didn't really want to do that. So I've just left it as a shirt, really, just as a longer length, and it's really nice.
I like the fact that you combined the knit with the woven.
Sorry?
I like the fact you combined the knit with the woven.
Yes, yeah, it's well, that's the pattern. It has, a knit top, cuffs, and a waistband.
Oh, does it? Yeah, okay, right.
But I think I've got a little bit at the back. I think I just need to maybe take the seam in a little bit. I think it's bunching just a little bit, just on that back there. So I might just have another little go at that. But
again, what's it doing?
Well, when I've put this neckband on, I've maybe not put it on. I think I just need to have another go at that little bit, just in there,
right?
And maybe just take it in slightly.
Okay, so. It looks okay from this angle. So.
Yeah, but yes, I'm quite pleased with this.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Alison Glass.
Oh yeah.
And Juicy Juice, yes, I know. We have both fallen by the wayside with that. My problem was that we ran out of printer cartridges. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But we've now got cartridges again, so I might print it off and have another go at that.
Yeah, well, I'm behind as well. I did do one yesterday to try and catch up, and I was going to do both, but I found them, they take a long time to do.
They are quite time consuming.
You know, all afternoon to make one block is a bit excessive to my mind.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
I have them in my bag. This is a very old bag, by the way.
Oh look, that's cute.
Yeah, very cute little bag.
Very nice.
Anyway, I did do it, but I don't particularly like it.
Oh, so. Okay. Oh, it's quite stunning now.
Well, okay. I don't know. It looks a bit messy from the back, doesn't it? That's the back.
But you're not going to see the back, are you, really?
Okay, so
quite
what I was doing. Pardon?
Quite minimalist. It's quite simplistic, and
it is. However, it's not very accurate. Not the pattern, my stitching is very accurate. Because look, that triangle's supposed to be the same as that one.
Yeah, it's not smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And I lost a lot of the points, and it was only. Can you see the changing colour of thread?
No, not in this actually. You can't. But
okay, so I think I did about 11 or 12 triangles. I was thinking this isn't going very well. It's not very accurate. I'm losing points all over the place.
Right.
And I'm actually stitching. I was stitching on the line. I was with foundation piece, and you have to stitch on the line. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it occurred to me, well, I'd not changed my needle or my thread from sewing. What have I been sewing? I think I've been sewing a heavier weight cotton. And I think I had an 80/12 needle in.
Right.
And I was using 40 weight thread.
Okay.
At which point I thought, well, that's probably not a good idea when you're trying to sew a miniature sized piece. Yeah. So I changed down to a 68 needle. Is it 60/8 or 60/10? Yeah, 60/8 needle.
8, yes.
Yeah, and went down to 50 weight thread.
Yeah.
And that did make a big difference in terms of the accuracy. So the later ones were better than the first few.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I've still lost points, and I'm not sure why really. But then the fabric's quite an open weave.
Right.
And maybe it's not.
Maybe in the fold and the stitch
anyway.
Lost a bit.
Doesn't really matter. I'm not overly keen on it as a block, but I'm not going to remake it. It's just like tedious. No.
So what?
Yes. So anyway, yes, keep safe. Hope that you are enjoying your time crafting, if you are crafting, whether it be for yourself or for the NHS, because I know there's an awful lot of people doing stuff out there for the NHS.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much, all of you who are NHS people and carers in general. We say NHS, but there's an awful lot of people out there that are caring for other people.
That's right.
That are not getting full recognition. I'd like to say thank you to people like the bin men who are still continuing to empty my bin.
Yes, even though they do insist on confusing me and turning up on the wrong day and taking a completely different bin to what we were expecting. But there you go.
Anyway, so thank you to them, and thank you to people, in the supermarkets and all the rest of it who are doing a sterling job sort of keeping the food supplies going and what have you. So yeah, so generally, just keep on doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll come through this at the other end.
We will.
At some point.
We will, absolutely we will.
It's a wormhole at the moment.
Yes, yeah. So thank you for joining us. It's been nice to see you all, sort of. And we hope to talk to you again soon.
Yes, indeed. See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.